Good morning, dear students. In the last video, we have discussed that how time is measured. The clocks, they make use of some periodic motion. Okay, and the most common periodic motion is that of a simple pendulum. So today we are going to study about simple pendulum. Now children, see that this is a figure showing the simple pendulum. Okay, so a simple pendulum, it consists of a small metallic ball. That ball is also known as bob. Okay, suspended by a light string from a rigid support. So in this figure we have shown two positions. First is the rest position, or also known as mean position. Okay, now this figure shows the pendulum, simple pendulum, in motion. Fine. Now to set this pendulum in motion, what we have to do is we have to gently hold the bob and move it slightly to either of the sides, either this side or this side. Fine. Now after bringing to this point or any other point, we have to release the bob from the displaced position. Fine. So in this way, what will happen? The bob will, or the simple pendulum will oscillate in this manner. Okay. Now here, as I told you, that this is the mean position or the rest position, also denoted by this figure O, or the point O shows the mean position. Okay, now the positions where the bob is at the maximum distance from the mean position, that means in this case this is the maximum distance from the mean position. Okay, so these are known as the extreme positions. That means in this figure the extreme positions of this simple pendulum are A and B. Okay, now the motion of this pendulum or the bob from A to B, okay, like it will come from A to O, O to B, then again from B to O and back to A. So this will be known as what? It will be known as one complete oscillation. Or we can also say that the motion of this simple pendulum from the mean position, if I am starting from this point, from O to B, again back to O, to A, then again back to O. Okay, this will also represent what? It will also represent one complete oscillation. Okay, now the maximum distance, okay, the maximum distance or the displacement of the bob from its mean position, it is known as the amplitude of the pendulum. Like in this case, the maximum distance or the extreme position is this, or the maximum displacement is this much. Okay, so OB or OA or AO or BO, these are the amplitude of this pendulum. Fine. Next is the time taken by the bob of a pendulum to complete one oscillation will be known as a time period of the oscillation or of the pendulum. Okay, and that is denoted by capital T. Okay, the time taken by the bob of the pendulum to travel from, we can say, from A to B and again back to A. That means when it is completing one oscillation, if I am considering this point or this point or this point, that means it will come back to this point again. If I am starting from O, then it will go from O to B, then to A, again back to O. This will be known as one oscillation, and during this one oscillation, the time that it is taking, that will be known as a time period, that is denoted by capital T. Clear? Now how to measure the time period? Okay, so for that, again what we have to do, we have to set the pendulum in motion. Okay, that means again we have to bring it to the extreme position, any of the extreme positions. Okay, and then we will release it. Fine, we don't have to push it, we just have to release it. Now we have to note the time on the clock when the bob is at its mean position. Okay, we can also start from the extreme positions also. Okay, then after that we have to measure the time of the pendulum. Okay, and suppose if I am saying, if we have to measure the time taken to complete 20 oscillations. Okay, so for that 20 oscillations we will measure the time in seconds. Clear? So as we have discussed, that the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is known as a time period, denoted by capital T. if we have to write down the formula, how can we write it as? We can write it like capital T will be equal to total time taken divided by number of oscillations. Okay, total time taken to complete these much oscillations. If you are taking 20, then 20 oscillations or 10 oscillations. Okay, so by this formula we can get the time period. Okay, so see children, there was a famous scientist named as Galileo. Okay, Galileo Galilei. This scientist in 1583, he suggested that a pendulum can be used to regulate clocks. And in 1658, Huygens, he actually used a pendulum to regulate the motion in clocks. Now there is an interesting story about the discovery that the time period of a given pendulum is constant. So the time period of a given pendulum is constant was discovered by Galileo Galilei. Okay, there is a story behind that. Now listen to the story. Okay, once Galileo, okay, he was sitting in a church. So a lamp suspended from the ceiling with a chain, it was moving slowly from one side to the other, and this was noticed by Galileo by chance. Now he was surprised. He found out that his pulse beat the same number of times during the interval in which the lamp completed one oscillation. Okay. Afterwards, he experimented this with various pendulums. Okay, because his observation was this. So he observed, or so he experimented with various pendulums. So what he found was that a pendulum of a given length, it will always take the same time to complete one oscillation. Okay, and this observation of Galileo, it led to the development of pendulum clocks. Okay, winding clocks or the wristwatches, these are the refinements of the pendulum clocks. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Who actually used a pendulum to regulate the motion in clocks? And the answer we'll give in our next video. Thank you.